Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Yeah, this is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with Junkyard Joel.
Hey guys, what's up? Junkyard Joel.
Oh yeah, we're getting into the junkyard for this one. The junkyard of the 80s. From 1981, we're going to review The Burning.
The Burning.
It's a movie that I heard a lot of good things about as far as 80s slashers go. And never seen it.
I would say.
Yeah, a reboot
Honestly,
would be really cool.
Yeah.
And since we're not doing a franchise right now, there's not a brand new movie out, we're going back and forth on picking. So this was my pick. Joel had the Train to Busan. And at the end of this episode, we'll tell you, or Joel will tell me what he's picking next.
Yeah, so stick around for the end of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. All right, Joel. Who is in The Burning?
All right, so this one, we've got a whole group of A-list actors. We've got Brian Matthews. He's Todd. He was in 10 episodes of Days of Our Lives. So 34 episodes of Santa Barbara.
Okay.
And Red Knights, which I don't know anything about that one.
All right.
I do have a little trivia thing on this guy, because I noticed that his acting ends at 94 or something like that. So he left acting in the early 90s to become a licensed marriage and family therapist.
Hey.
So
cool.
It'd be kind of weird to go to a therapist, actually knowing the movie The Burning and having him be your therapist.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
yeah.
We've got Lee Ayres. She's Michelle. She was in Bloodsport, The Edge of Night, 269 episodes.
Wow.
And that's in a 2-year period.
Oh, okay. So this is a daily show or something.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy that they even had shows like that. Every day was a new episode. That's just
Days of Our Lives, right?
Yeah, they're still going strong 50 years later. And Dead Ringer.
Okay.
And we got Brian Backer. He's Alfred. He was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He was a weird character. The Money Pit. Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol. And I didn't mention him just because he doesn't have a big role, but Jason Alexander is also in this movie.
Oh, he's got a pretty good role.
He does, but he's not in it as much as those other three are.
Yeah, he's not. But let's talk about Jason. Come on.
Yeah. He honestly is probably the best actor in the entire movie.
He is.
Yeah, he definitely is. And I liked his character. His performance, he did a really good job.
It was weird to see him on
for
screen.
a slasher movie. Yeah. And
if you don't know who that is George from
George Costanza.
Yes,
from Seinfeld.
From Seinfeld.
I mean, he's been in a lot of other stuff too, but
Yeah.
he is most known for George.
Yes.
Written by the man himself.
I forgot about this.
So he didn't write the script. It was an original story by him.
Okay.
There's a couple people like that, but Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Weinstein.
That's why I picked this one.
Let's pick one with a controversial person involved. Not even like in the movie, but
wanted to shine a light on his early film days.
Yeah. Well, he's only done one other thing, which is playing for keeps. So
Yeah.
he is definitely more of a producer than he is a writer.
Yes.
And also original story by Tony Malum, who is also the director of this movie. And he wrote The Riddle of the Sands, Phoenix Blue, and Journal of a Contract Killer.
Okay.
And again, original story. This is a very original story. Like a killer at a summer camp is like, that's never been done before.
No.
I mean, it hasn't been before 1981. I mean, that's like that decade was the decade for that kind of stuff.
I guess. Yeah. I guess
1981 is.
Yeah.
We got Brad Gray. He just did The Burning. That's the only writing that he's done, or even coming up with a story. He's never done that before.
Okay.
We finally get to the screenplays, and we've got Peter Lawrence.
We don't even have the screenwriters yet.
No, those are all three original stories.
Oh my gosh.
We only have a couple of these, so it's it's not as bad. 22 episodes of Thundercats. Terminal Choice and High Score. And we've got the brother of the other Weinstein brother on here, which is Bob Weinstein. He did the screenplay. He's the writer of the family, apparently.
Okay.
Also did Playing for Keeps and a 2002 English version of Pinocchio and the American edition of Dougal.
Okay.
Which is, it's this like animated like dog movie or something like that. So So yeah, he's done quite a bit.
All right.
At least more than his brother as far as writing goes. And
his brother's done a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, he definitely has. Oh man, that's a different episode for a different day. Tony Malum, he directed Across the Lake, which is a TV movie, Split Second, and Journal of a Contract Killer. So, yeah, bunch of stuff that I've definitely heard of.
Yeah. Okay, so the plot: a former summer camp caretaker, horribly burned from a prank gone wrong, lurks around an upstate New York summer camp, bent on killing the teenagers responsible for his disfigurement. Boom. So a revenge camp story?
Yeah, never been done before.
Yeah. Sounds familiar.
Yeah. What's funny about that, it's not even the same camp. Like, he just wandered to a different camp.
And he happened to come
wanting
across...
revenge on the same people? Like, how does that...
But he happened to come across somebody.
Yeah, he did.
It was... I don't know how he found him. Or, just got lucky or what, but...
Yeah, there was no Google or anything like that back then. So, I mean, couldn't, like, Google someone's name to find out where they're at.
Yeah, he found him. So yeah, this guy... that's how the movie starts. This group of kids, like, I don't know, they're making fun of this like counselor, or I don't even know if he was a counselor. He was kind of like an older guy, I think.
Yeah,
just kind of worked at the summer camp.
He wasn't a counselor. He just worked there. I think the story that Todd tells is about that event, and what he says. For like in the beginning of the movie, it's kind of a messed up thing that these kids do. Like it's just like they seem like pretty like evil in that moment. I was like, wow, these kids are messed up. But if the story that Todd tells is true, like he was not a good person either. Yeah. So it's like
that's how I was thinking too when he tells the story later.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, well, that's still kind of messed up, but it's a little less.
And they were just trying to scare him. They had like
they were
like skull thing.
Yeah.
They were trying to scare him with, and then like what was it, like a candle falls and like they get.
It doesn't even.
I
had to replay that scene
how the fire started really.
Because the way his arms were moving, he was moving it to him. Like, what are you doing? Like, get your hands away from that. Like that's fire. That's gonna burn you. Like
So he catches on fire and then runs out of the cabin and he's all on fire and stuff, and it then goes like to a certain time later. I don't remember how much time passed. It was a while. I want to say like a year or something. I mean, maybe the next summer is when he came back. But
I know what you did last summer.
This scene was one of my favorite scenes when they're in the hospital, and it's like, if that beginning scene didn't like tell you what kind of movie you're in for, this scene in the hospital definitely told you. So there's like a guy, I want to say he's like a doctor. I don't know. He works at the hospital. There's just two guys, and one of them is newer. And the other guy goes to him. He's like, "Hey, you got to come see this. You got to come see this guy." And he like tries to get him to come into the room. And he's like, "You haven't seen anything like this." And he's like, "It's like a what's he say? Like it's like a Big Mac overdone."
Oh my gosh.
This looks so cheesy.
Some of the best writing ever
it's
done.
like a Big Mac overdone.
I don't remember that line.
You don't remember
funny.
that? Oh,
no, man. I don't. I don't doubt that it was in this movie at all.
I'm like, okay, here we go. Because the first scene, was just, not the greatest acting and stuff, but it wasn't super corny necessarily.
Yeah.
But then that next scene in the hospital, the dialogue starts to really kick in. And so he's trying to show him like the guy's face or whatever, and then the guy like grabs his arm and he's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
Like, did you think he was dead? Or like,
yeah, I know.
Was he supposed to be dead right there? Or?
Well, he did get burned. Like, based on what he looked like later on in the movie, he probably should have been dead.
Dude, that was quite a look that they gave him.
Oh man,
yeah.
But we'll get to that.
That was something. All right. So another thing that I really liked, and these are all like not really good things, but they're funny, and so I like it. So some of the characters' names I thought were very interesting choice of names. So we have Glazer.
Yeah.
He's like the bully, like kind of bully kid, I guess, or I don't know, the guy he thinks he's like super cool. Yeah, he didn't really play that role very well. Or they didn't cast him very well. He didn't seem like this super cool guy. He didn't seem like super big and muscular or anything like he was trying to be. Like, I don't know. But his name was Glazer.
Glazer.
So, he's like a, what were those, oh man, the American Gladiators.
Yeah.
Like
I was
Glacier and Razor.
I was thinking, dodgeball.
Yeah.
Laser and Blazer and Glazer.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, they kept saying his name. I'm like, his name is Glazer? Really? Like,
Yeah.
you actually wrote that down on a script? Okay.
It was like, that's a good name. Solid name. It's not a real name. It's also obviously a nickname, but still.
No, it might be his real name.
Yeah. Like a last name, yeah.
And then another one of the characters' names, Alfred.
Yeah.
But that was
Just like, a weird person. Like, it's just, yeah. Hey, Batman's, there's an Alfred in Batman. And,
yeah.
That was probably popular back then.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's just, you don't ever hear that name.
No, you don't. Yeah. It may have been more popular back then than
Maybe.
it is now, but you definitely don't hear it now.
No.
For sure.
And another name you don't really ever hear is Woodstock. That was another character's name.
Yeah.
These are like some of the main characters, like Glazer, Alfred, and Woodstock.
Oh, Woodstock is Snoopy's friend. So.
Yeah. Isn't it like the bird or something?
Yeah, it's the bird.
So yeah, I
stealing all these names from other pop culture references.
I found the names to be pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, when you're naming like a bunch of, like, you've got a whole summer camp full of people to like name, like, you got to get a little creative, right? Don't give them like the most boring average names.
So yeah, Glazer, definitely the only movie or anything that I've ever seen with that name.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So can't really
points for creativity on that name.
Yeah. I'll give it to him. So they're all part of like the summer camp. And there's who is it? Woodstock, Alfred, and what's Jason Alexander's name in the movie? Do you remember?
Jason Alexander. Glad you said it in the movie. I don't remember what his name was. It was like he was one of those characters. He was one of those like background characters that was in it throughout the entire movie, but really like wasn't in it.
Oh, his name's Dave.
Oh, Dave. Okay, well, that's why you didn't remember it. It's just like
Dave.
This got a boring name. Come on, give him George or something.
But yeah, George.
No offense to the Daves listening. It's a great name, but it's very common.
Like he's kind of part of this like trio or like these little group of kids that are kind of like the nerdy ones,
like outcasts, like nerdy, yeah.
But I did think Jason Alexander was kind of fun. It was kind of fun to see him.
His character.
Yeah, he had some like funny lines and stuff, and it's funny to know him as George and see him in this movie. While I'm watching it, I'm thinking like, how much older is he than all these other actors? Because he seemed like he was so much older. But if you look up the cast and their ages, he's like kind of middle of the road compared to the rest of them. He's not really that old.
I mean, Seinfeld really wasn't that long. Like it was, 6-7 years later? And wasn't he supposed to like, isn't he playing like what seemed like a 40-year-old man in that?
I think he's just balding early, you know?
Makes you look older than you actually are.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to play someone in their 30s. And Seinfeld was like 91 or so. I don't think it started in the 80s.
No, it started in the 80s.
Did it?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it did. I thought that it did, but it may have started like 1990.
Oh, 89.
Or 89. Yeah. Okay. So
yeah. But yeah, he just, I don't know, he always seemed older. And and even when he had a full head of hair in this movie, he seemed older than everybody else, but he really wasn't. There were some people that were older than him. So I thought that was weird. He just seemed like so much more, and his acting was much better than everybody else.
It was. It felt more natural.
Yeah.
Like the lines that he was delivering felt more natural. Like this is something that somebody could actually say.
Yeah.
Or that, he maybe not that would actually say, but he delivered it in a way that he found a way to make it work.
Yeah.
With the script that he was given.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. I mean, yeah, he was definitely one of my favorite characters in this movie.
Yeah, me too, for sure. All right, so what'd you think of that kill? When he first like gets out of the hospital and he like picks up a hooker or something.
Oh yeah. So based on what you know he looks like in the future, like she's just so casual about it, and it's like, no, lady, like you should be terrified right now.
No, this guy's like a goblin.
I know you don't judge a book by its cover, but you can sometimes. It's okay. And she was just like, "Oh no, come upstairs."
Yeah.
It's just like, really.
I mean, maybe he had his whole
really
like
that desperate for money right now.
He had his hat and his whole like
the hat covers your face, right?
I don't know, but when he stabs her,
the knife like went through like butter. I was like, okay, is that how that works?
It just went through so fast. It was like it was really funny looking.
I'm like, oh wow, all right, well, that's a way, I guess. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it's a good thing that none of the writers know or directors know anything about what it's like to actually stab somebody. That's good to know, because that's not how that works.
Yeah, no.
Not that I would know, but I mean, it's very obvious.
And it's Tom Savini who does the makeup effects and stuff. So, I don't know. But,
yeah, he's done a bunch.
Yeah,
he did
not
Friday
his
the 13th
best
as well. No, it's not. He definitely this was definitely like his earlier work.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he definitely he's worked on like he's done the effects for like good movies, like big movies, and stuff. So
yeah, I thought that kill was just kind of random too. Like there was no real purpose to it.
I guess we had to get something because we don't get another kill for like an hour into the movie.
That's true.
So you got to give him something right now.
Yeah.
So
I had to. And then you have to do the whole character development and stuff.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. And then
important.
Kill off characters you didn't give any development for.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple in there that are like, who are these guys? Like, I don't think we've ever even seen these people before.
So yeah, after that kill, then we get to know the campers and everything, and then he comes back to kill everybody at the camp. Pretty much the story.
It's a complicated story, but
now,
but it needed 3 people to tell it.
Yes, yeah. Not even to write it, just to
just be like, this is what the movie's going to be about. Like, okay, it took 3 people to do that. All
right. So what this movie is known for, what I always saw, was the raft scene, the raft kill.
Yeah,
that's what like the poster is. That's like, I was watching. I don't know. I feel like I've seen multiple like best of kills or stuff like that, or underrated kills or whatever.
Yeah,
it's always on.
So I ended up watching this movie on YouTube because I couldn't find it anywhere else.
Oh, it's on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And when I was searching it, one of the first things that popped up was it was like Raft Massacre or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And so I didn't click on that. It was like a couple minute long like little clip of the movie. So I didn't hear anything about like the underrated kill, like is like the raft scene or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was expecting something. So we don't even get that kill until the second raft scene.
Yeah.
I was waiting for, because like there's the first scene that they have that they're on rafts is like, there's like 6 rafts involved and there's like 20 kids.
Right.
I was like, oh, this is gonna be a massacre. But we don't get that.
No.
We get one raft, and it's like four 4 of the kids, and even then, you don't really see a whole lot. Which is why this movie would be perfect for like a reboot.
Yeah, it would.
It's like a fire starter type of situation where it's like people don't really know the original that well.
Yeah.
So a reboot would, not only get people to like watch that movie, but also go back and maybe like watch the original as well.
Right.
Because this is, to me, this is an underrated movie. It is not talked about like at all, and I like it more than Sleepaway Camp.
Oh yeah,
and I like it more than Friday the 13th. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, it's right there for me with Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a lot better than Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah,
much better. It takes itself more seriously.
It does.
Where at the same time having that still like 80s corny charm to it.
Yeah.
And it was at least interesting. Like the characters were somewhat interesting. It wasn't boring, I wouldn't say.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. Yeah, I actually liked most of the characters in this movie.
Yeah.
There were a couple. I'm still on the fence about Alfred because I don't understand his character.
Which one was he? I don't remember.
He was the one. There was a line that there was a scene with him and Todd towards like the beginning-ish part of the movie, where Alfred's kind of like a creeper. He was the one that was like, the girl was showering outside and he was like creeping up on her to like spy on her or whatever.
Oh yeah,
look at her.
Yeah.
And there was a scene with him and Todd shortly after that Todd was he was like the caring one trying to like, talk to him and stuff. And Alfred's like, I get made fun of all the time, and it's just like it was just like the army. And I was like, what? What? How old are you?
Yeah, he was in the army?
He mentioned something about like the army. And I was like, what? What?
Yeah.
I was so confused because he definitely doesn't. He looks older than a student, I guess, but he doesn't look older than he's already served in the military. Like that's kind of random and weird. But
yeah, that was.
It's like what is going on here?
Maybe he was in the army for like a day and they were making fun of him, so he quit.
So he left.
Yeah, and he's got PTSD. It's just like the army.
Just like the army.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. So yeah, it's just his character was weird because throughout the entire movie, like I'm kind of expecting some sort of like a twist because as much as this is better than Sleepaway Camp, that one had a twist to it. Friday the 13th, the first one had a twist to it. So I'm like, maybe Alfred somehow the killer? Like it was kind of setting itself up for that. But then he's running from the killer. So it's like, obviously he's not the killer, but it's just like the way his character acts and everything. It just felt like maybe he's like the reincarnated spirit of the killer or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
His character was kind of a little out there, but
yeah, I would have appreciated that. Some sort of twist.
It was pretty straightforward throughout the movie.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. You knew who it was the whole time.
Yeah.
So yeah, the raft scene was okay. There's a couple of cool shots with the killer with the shears, like the hedging, or what are they called? Like hedge trimmers.
Hedge trimmers,
yeah, like holding him up, like that was pretty cool. Some of those shots were cool. And I do like the weapon, the hedge trimmers. Like that's pretty cool.
I mean, it's basically a knife, but but it can be used as scissors, which wasn't really used as scissors that much. Like it would have been cool to see like him maybe chop someone's head off or something with it, but like it just he used them to stab people, which you could have just used any knife, like. But when you're given a weapon like that. Like you gotta take advantage of what it's capable of.
Right. Right.
So, but it was cool to have like because you don't see that in movies very often at all.
Yeah, it's a little different.
So,
yeah, and so then toward the end we see his face. Looks ridiculous. Like he's like a troll or something. I don't even know.
That's what happens when you burn your face. Like it was his whole body that got burnt, not just his face, but it looked like his face was the one that was like. I guess we don't really see his body in the movie, but still like.
So we see that, and then we learn that was it Todd that was from the. I
think it was Todd that
beginning?
Was the one involved. Yeah.
So Todd, basically the main character, was one of the kids from the beginning who, pulled the prank and got him set on fire and all that. So
yeah, what happened to
that was
other
the twist?
Three? Like, yeah, that he was the one involved because it was a different actor in the beginning of the movie. So much time has passed that they had to cast a new actor.
Was it a different actor?
I don't remember seeing him in the beginning of the movie. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it was a different actor.
Okay. That's funny.
He's got another blonde kid to do
it. So that's pretty much the movie. Do you have any like negatives? I mean, we kind of talked about the face. We talked about, some of the bad acting.
I mean, we kind of covered the negatives when we were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Cuz like it's it's a basic story. Like it's cool that it was the first one that was done, before Friday and before Sleepaway Camp. But it's just it's a pretty basic cut and dry type of movie. But you do end up liking the characters, and the acting really isn't as bad as the 80s in general.
Yeah.
Like they're like the slasher movies of the 80s have some of the worst acting. But it's, I don't know. It was an enjoyable movie. I'd probably not watch it every year, but I'd watch it again at some point in the future. So that's more than I can say for Sleepaway Camp. I wouldn't want to watch that one again.
Oh no. Do want to correct something. So Friday the 13th came out in 1980. So this was a year later. Yeah. So I mean, it was probably in development. It was around the same.
Yeah. But like back then, it didn't really take that long to make movies. Come out with. No, I think the special effects and everything was the part that took the longest. Yeah. The script, you could do that in like a day. Especially when you've got 5 people working on a script. Like let's be real. If the fact that this came out, I guess that's a negative for me now. The fact that this came out after Friday, but it still took 3 people to do an original story. It's not an original story anymore, guys.
Right?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Taking revenge on a bunch of kids at a summer camp is definitely not original when it happened the year before.
Yeah. And like the whole like kids, messing with another kid, and it's and Sleepaway Camp had the same setup. It wasn't like years later or whatever. It was she was getting picked on and then killing like that same time, but
in that like same period.
So for me, I mean, I wanted better kills. I don't know. I feel like I heard about this movie and how underrated it was, and was kind of hoping for like a diamond in the rough, when I put it on.
Yeah.
And just ended up seeing just another average 80s slasher.
Yeah,
that
80s summer camp slasher movie.
Yeah.
It does have better kills than even the first Friday the 13th movie, because it at least showed some of the kills.
True.
Like, in that movie, it would show just like it would have like the POV of the person getting attacked.
Yeah.
Because it's, the mystery aspect was there, which makes it better. But like, you don't really see too much actually happen in that movie. Yeah. Same with Sleepaway Camp for the most part. There is one or two pretty gruesome scenes in that movie that I will give it credit for. But overall, I think the kill scenes were at least better in this movie for the most part than they were in those other two summer camp movies.
Yeah.
Not to really compare all three of them, but I mean, you kind of have to at a certain extent, because they are basically the same exact story.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely could have been better as far as the kill scenes go, but it was still better than the other two movies.
Yeah. So I would give it that. I think I just got a little hyped up for it when when it just wasn't anything too like super different or groundbreaking even for the 80s. So
yeah.
All right, let's talk about some fun facts.
All right.
So Tom Savini, we just talked about him. He's the makeup guy, makeup artist. Yeah, he's done some acting too. He turned down Friday the 13th Part 2 to work on this.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So he does originals.
Apparently.
He does the firsts of movies. That's pretty cool.
He was not particularly happy with Cropsey's burnt makeup, as he was only given 3 days to work on it.
Well, I'm glad that he wasn't happy with it, because it wasn't good. That's why only 3 days. That seems like rushed for that's, I don't know.
They had a deadline.
1 week was their deadline.
Yes.
From coming up with a story to finishing it.
All right, this is interesting. So the film's composer, Rick Wakeman, was originally offered a percentage of whatever profits the film made, but he had decided to opt for a fee instead, as he felt that the film had no chance of being successful. But the film ended up being the biggest grossing horror movie in Japan.
Okay.
So,
in Japan.
I imagine that means it made more than what they were expecting, and he would have gotten a bigger cut if he would have, kept the original offer. But
it's a little harsh, man. Like, I'll work on it, but this is gonna suck. So this is not gonna be a good movie.
So the concept of the film is based on campfire stories told at summer camps in and around New Jersey and upstate New York. The story is still in circulation and is also the basis for the documentary Cropsey from 2009, though the film is not referenced in the documentary.
Really? Okay. You're not going to reference the... All right. I guess that's...
So I guess Cropsey is like a character from...
I've heard of that
campfire
name before.
Yeah. It's just like a classic campfire story, and the guy's name is Cropsey.
Yeah, I didn't know that's who, like, this movie was, like, based off of or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, this is cool. To create Cropsey's distorted POV shots, the cinematographer rubbed Vaseline on the outside edges of the camera lens.
Oh. Okay. You gotta be so creative sometimes.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. This film was one of the first movies to land on the UK's Video Nasties list.
Cool.
Specifically because of the infamous Raft Massacre.
That crazy massacre that happened on that raft.
It's like so
wasn't that bad, guys.
tame. It's so tame. You guys gotta. Yeah. I mean, it's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, there's never really been a massacre in any of those movies.
Yeah,
except
really
for that last
except for the newest one. Yeah. That's
all right. So the shot of Cropsy's legs kicking wildly in the fire was actually portrayed by Tom Savini.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is a shocker right here.
Oh man, can't wait.
This is. I always kind of wonder about this when it comes to this, but yeah, I'll read it. The wardrobe of the film is mostly the actual wardrobe of the cast. There was rarely a costume person on set.
Okay. I mean, that's one way of saving money, I guess.
Yeah, I always wonder that.
Just bring your clothes to summer camp that you would normally wear. And we'll just use that.
I always wonder about that, like, because you see, like, you know, costume design by so-and-so.
Yeah.
And it's just like regular clothes. I'm like, do they really need someone to do that? Or can they just tell the actor, like, hey, bring a pair of jeans and, you know, like,
bring
what?
T-shirts.
Like, do we really need that for, like, especially a movie like this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's funny. I mean, I can see it in, like, period piece movies. But in just like in like a summer camp story, like you can bring your own clothes, guys. We're not supplying that. Sorry. Yeah. I did find something out that was kind of interesting. That Friday the 13th Part 2 came out 1 week before this movie did.
Oh,
so it was within like the first like 7 days. Like you could have seen both of these at the same time.
Yeah.
In theaters.
Wow, that's cool.
That's kind of crazy. So, I mean, that's probably why the guy was like, this isn't going to make any money, because you got the sequel to a big hit that came out last year coming out a week before this one's coming out.
Yeah.
So, I'll just take my cut. Thanks.
Yeah.
But apparently this was a big hit in Japan, so that's cool.
Oh, man. Big hit in Japan. Tom Savini would play classical music during the long process of creating plaster castings of the actors' faces or face.
Wow.
Yeah, that's okay.
It probably takes them a long time to do that kind of stuff.
Getting to the bottom of the barrel here with these. He listened to classical music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, he had to calm himself down for this process. Like, you know, it's a lot of work to go through this.
Okay, I think that is, yeah, that's good. All right, so let's rate this bad boy.
All right.
What do you think?
So, I am going to give this one, I'm going to give it a 77.
Dang, you're giving some high scores. I actually raised my score a little bit from what I originally wrote down after talking about it for a little while. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go with a 51.
Oh, wow. All right. What would you have it before? Like a 47? A 49?
I think it was a 47, actually, or 46.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember now. But it was in the 40s, yeah. So.
Wow.
Raise it a little bit.
I mean, that's an F. Like, at least mine's like an average. It's an okay movie. Like, I'll watch it again at some point in the future.
Yeah.
I think I gave like Sleepaway Camp like a 12 or something like that.
There's just no in between.
That it's not. No,
it's either average,
not even a little bit.
Or it's 12.
Or it's 12. I think that and Black Christmas, like the newest one, were like my lowest rated.
Yeah.
Movies, and you throw in Army of the Dead in yours, your bottom 3.
That one really wasn't as bad as I rated it, but I just
it's the principle of the thing.
Yeah, it's the principle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to rate like somewhere. I'm trying to get some movies in the middle range, you know, in between super horrible, hated it, and average, you know. I'm trying to get in the middle there.
And I mean, like a 5 That's a pretty average for IMDb scores for a movie like this.
Yeah.
I
think on IMDb it has a 6 something.
I think it does actually. So it's got a higher rating on IMDb than you gave it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's got a 6.3.
That's actually a pretty decent score for IMDb.
But a 42 Meta score.
Oh, well, what do the critics know? So you're just like right in the middle there.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the end of this one. So, Joel, can you tell me what the next one is going to be that we review?
This is what everyone was anticipating.
Yes. What's it going to be?
So my next pick is going to be I was going to say the actual year, but I don't remember exactly what year this movie came out. Okay. Early 90s movie Wolf with Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer and James Spader.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I have not seen that, so I'm going to have some homework to do to watch that one. Is that a horror movie?
It is.
It's
a werewolf movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like
it's in that subgenre of horror.
Yeah. I feel like I kind of remember when that came out. But I feel, and I was a kid, so what did I know? But I felt like it was more of a drama, just the way. I mean, I remember it when it came out.
I mean, it's a drama horror type movie. It's more about the transformation of the character or characters going through it, and what happens when you're bit, kind of thing.
All right. Well, I mean, Jack Nicholson, you can't go wrong with Jack. So
no, you can't. James Spader too. He's
James Spader. Okay.
Yeah, he's a good one.
That's interesting. All right. Well, we will get to that one next when we do one of our picks. So look out for that. Coming up soon, and then I will be picking after that, and we will let you know what that is during the Wolf episode.
Yes. Maybe in the middle of it. Who knows?
Oh,
maybe we'll spice things up a little bit.
Yeah. Just be like, by the way, I'm going to pick this. What were your negatives? So
make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah, it's going to be a test.
Yes. Yeah. Pop quiz.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it. That has been our review on The Burning from 1981. And this has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let Jason Alexander bite.